So, remember that unknown sickness I spoke about in the previous episode? Yeah, it's back. Again. So I, yet again, apologize if I sound even worse than normal. I'm still fussing with my mic settings and
You sound fine!
and still have to deal with this additional nasal blarg that I have going on.
And chest congestion.
That too! Oh well. Welcome back to Duo Everything, a series that showcases my partners and my progress through old-school RuneScape as Iron Man. If you've missed any of my previous episodes, they'll be organized into a playlist for your convenience, so you can go back and get all caught up. With that out of the way, I feel like a broken record. Every episode is something similar to luck this, grind that, spoon-fed stuff that we need. This episode is no different.
That just RuneScape.
I mean, sure, but I mean...
That's literally the essence of RuneScape.
Sure. This episode is no different. Xanth and I have been hard at work trying to secure some items that would be pretty huge upgrades for us. I'm looking at you, Occult Necklace.
I don't want to talk about it!
In this little B-roll footage, you can see us trying our hands at Krill Suitsar... whatever.
Angry red guy.
The Zamorak boss.
Swords.
We really want to get some staves?
Red
Staves? Staves? I don't know. Of the dead, and it would be nice to also get some Zammy Spears for when we start going to Corp. Some of the clips are a little out of order, so I might as well just tell you I've been focusing heavily on Herblord and managed to hit 86. That means I can easily boost to 90 to make super combat potions. That helps us out a fair bit for not only this fight, but for all future PVM content. You can see the super combat somewhere in my inventory in this clip. God Wars in general is going to be a focus of ours for probably the foreseeable future. Mostly because we are checking items off the list and slowly starting to move away from lower tier bosses. And while not all of these items are needed at this point, it's nice to get dupes. It saves the hassle of sharing a useful item. But items like this, yeah, we can't share these, at least not after they are imbued. I'm sure we'll get a second eventually. This is a pretty easy boss for us to farm, but it would really be nice to get them sooner rather than later, because it would be beneficial. And any dupes that are received can just, I don't know, go into Death's Coffer, I guess? I'm not really sure what to do with dupe items like this. I don't exactly play on my main anymore, so zero point in transferring it. Fuck it, Death's Coffer it is. Thankfully, I won't have to worry about this for much longer. Because there it is, the final ring that I wanted. How we managed to skip a warrior's ring, I'll never know. Neither of us have had one yet, which is honestly really strange. It's not like we're really target killing these. We're doing the full 3 rotation. Let's go get this bad boy imbued. Now, we didn't do the last DK's grind all at once, if I remember right. We broke it up with a few things here and there. Slayer, quests, clues, the works. You have to break it up, otherwise you get burned out. I learned that lesson long ago when we were camping Calphite Queen for, what, weeks? The benefit about doing different things, though? Xanth finally got an item off the Superior Slayer monster table. While it isn't exactly what either of us wanted, it is nice for convenience, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that.
I often find myself slaying in the Slayer Tower just because I get extra experience there, and Xanth is very much the same in that regard. Now, there is some content that I wanted to have in this episode that, sadly, we did not get around to. Mostly because of some bad RNG on Xanth's part that I'll touch on later. Said bit of content I'm referring to is something I'm working really hard on though, and I can't wait to share it with y'all. It's something I'll be really proud of. Anyway, I had said earlier that we were also doing quests, and some of the ones are big, because they unlock some of RuneScape's best activities for both money and gear. I am, of course, referring to Song of the Elves and Sins of the Father. This quest wasn't too bad to do. Honestly, the library puzzle was the most annoying part. Even with a brain-dead quest guide carrying us through it, it still took quite some time to complete. I remember doing this quest when it was first released, before the fancy RuneLite plugin helper. It took me 6 hours on my main. This clip playing out at lightning speed, a little over 2.5 hours of footage, crunched down into a very short time span. Yeah, this end fight took a couple of tries. At first we were thinking, oh, we'll just throw a whole bunch of sharks at it. Yeah, that didn't work at all. So I let my obsession with herbs carry us. Sarah brews are definite lifesavers. And yes, I know there's the whole Phoenix necklace method, but I really didn't feel like having to go through and learn that. I've heard that it's a bit annoying, so yeah, Sarah brews all the way. Also, for those who don't know, this quest gives us access to every Iron Man's debatable best-in-slot ranged weapon and some pretty legit ranged armor. The bow of Ferdinand. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not even a bother. It's called the Botha, alright? It's an absolute unit of a ranged weapon. It packs a punch with its 106 range strength, and it's honestly really, really accurate. Especially when you combine it with the crystal armor. This set increases the Botha's range damage by 15% and its accuracy by 30%, which is huge. The downfall, it's locked behind content that I was really dreading, the Gauntlet. And if I want to have a realistic chance of actually getting these items, the harder variant of it. The Corrupted Gauntlet, otherwise known as the Red Prison. This video isn't going to be long enough to explain it, but the TLDR of it is this. It's going to be a thorn in my side, a royal pain in the ass, and I'm going to have to go through and learn some new tricks. I really want the better drop rates, so this will be something I work on progressively over the next I don't know how many videos. In the meantime, though, there is still one other big quest on our list that we want to complete. Sins of the Father. Not gonna lie, this one was a bit more of a pain for me. My lower stats really didn't help me here, but in the end, I managed to pull out a win on this. This whole area will be beneficial to us. It unlocks an easy teleport to this side of the map, gives us quick access to Theater of Blood, and also gives us access to Blood Shards, which, when combined with our Furies, gives them a chance to heal us. I'm sure that'll be useful at some point. For now, though, Xanth has achieved 91 Slayer, unlocking the Hellhound boss, Cerberus. This boss has some pretty good junk drops, to be honest. It also drops the items required to make our best-in-slot boots for each combat style. The only downfall is they aren't overly common, and you can only kill this boss while on a Slayer task. Fortunately, after doing some searching around, Xanth found an easy way to cheese this boss. Because fuck mechanics. I won't go into too much detail, but the short version is this. After every action you do inside of the boss room, regardless if it's movement, drinking a potion, eating food, attacking, it doesn't matter. You have to click on the exit door, which is blocked by a wall of fire. This acts as the sit void command, which pauses the boss and allows you to effectively flinch him and not have to deal with any of the mechanics. Though you do have to make sure that you walk back under the boss after each attack and click the exit, otherwise you'll die like Xanth did a number of times. Also, yes, he's deharking it because it's fun. If y'all want a guide on how to do this exact method, comment below to let me know. With that said, the question is the same. Will Xanth get lucky? Well, there's one, but we don't have Ranger Boots. Which, oh boy. Back burner. Definite back burner. There's two, but we don't have Infinity Boots, and I've been dreading going to the Mage Training Arena. So there's another thing to slap on the back burner. Yay. But I have a sneaking suspicion Cerberus here is gonna put out. Holy fuck. I was not expecting that. Spooned the Survey Pet, and it's so adorable, in a very angry way. That was his first task of that. I'm kind of wowed, to be honest. I know that some players get spoon things, but geez, given the method that was primarily being used, that's insane to me. You can see from the screenshots that the method changed over time. At first, Xanth didn't think to use Taharix, but after finding out that door method, yeah, Taharix. And the sad thing is, using Taharix on Survey really isn't that slow. An average of 3 minutes per kill, which doesn't seem bad to me at all. I know he was still getting over 100k experience an hour while doing that method. His spoonage doesn't stop there though. Not in the slightest, because he just kept hammering out Slayer to unlock Smoke Devils. Now, I briefly touched on it earlier, but these weird tube-shaped things drop our best in slot
Alien Mr. Potato Heads.
magic amulet. Okay, Xanth, what the fuck? The Occult Necklace! It gives a nice boost in accuracy, and also gives us a nice boost to magic damage. It's the one item that Xanth really wants to get for both of us before we start hammering TOA and Chambers of Zarek like it's our job. The issue he ran into was, despite getting tasks from Duradol, the Slayer Master that I believe has the highest chance of assigning them, he just wasn't getting assigned them. The benefit about that, though, that's right, an Imbued Heart. One of the items that many Iron Men have to slay well past 99 Slayer in order to get. This item is a huge boon for us, and is going to make certain bits of content, I'm looking at you, Zulrah, that much easier to grind out. I won't lie, I heard him say, "Oh my god," and was confused until I looked down at the chat box, at which point I said the same damn thing. I love these accounts. I really do. Save for the few instances where we go dry on something.
Me?
In general, I feel these accounts are insanely lucky, but Xanth's grind on Thermi here continues. Here's a spoiler. At this point in the script, he has 1019 KC, and basically only has this to show for it. He's had 2 smoke battle stabs, which is nice, but we really need 2 occults, and he is well over drop rate. Yes, I know, at this point he should just switch over to the regular ones, but, and I'm quoting him on this, I'm too invested. That's fair though, I get it. When I go dry on something, I tend to keep hammering it out until the drop rate evens out. That may be a bad mindset though, given how rough some of the dry spells can be. Here's hoping it evens out sometime soon, because it's been like a month and a half since he's started grinding Thermi. We really want to get back into raids. In the meantime, Xanth continued to pull in rares, and not the ones he was looking for. This thing is 1 in 2k. The Occult Necklace is 1 in 350. Come on! And one issue he has with trying to get the Occult Necklaces is how seemingly uncommon the task is for him to get. But until then, at least he can say he's technically done with Serve. I think he's only missing the jar from this boss, but he's had everything else. Somehow dodged getting dupes, which is really confusing from what I've seen. Most people will end up getting like 3 or 4 Eternals before they see 1 Pegasian or 1 Primordial or whatever. He seems to be pretty good at getting certain heavily wanted items, like this Godsword Shard. We really want to start grinding Bandos, even though we don't have everything ideal yet. We really need that second frickin' Warhammer, and we're kind of getting close to the drop rate for that. And just for perspective as to how long this grind has been for him, Xanth achieved his first 99 HP. Like I said earlier, we've been grinding pretty hard. I'd say it's an average of 10 hours per day that we're playing. But at least it's paying off, and hey, I will happily piggyback off his luck. I've killed over 500 demonic gorillas and haven't seen a shard yet. While Xanth was busy slaying away, I, for the most part, joined him in that exact same task, mostly so I could focus on my combats. Given the fact that more difficult content is right around the corner, I'm in desperate need of all combat experience I can get. So that's what I did, mostly through Slayer, but did some odds and ends here and there to break it up. Fortunately, I managed to nab some good luck myself. Sadly, not with a Zenny, though. At first, I was upset with this drop. I really need some Zenny shards, but after discovering that it's needed to create the heavy ballista, and it's rather uncommon at a drop rate of 1 in 1500, I ended up being pretty happy with it. Plus, Xanth said that I leveled up my skill in ripping the tail off the monkey. Plus, checking items off the list for a heavy ballista is nice. It's weird to me that I'm getting all of these over a Zenny. A monkey tail, this thing, one of these. I really want the heavy frame, so here's hoping I don't go dry on that. I also got this from a dust devil in the catacombs while bursting on task. I was very, very confused, but to be fair, not particularly surprised. I went to this task with a weird feeling, and sure enough, I hit one of the lowest drop rates in the game. Or highest? Lowest? I don't know. It's 1 in 32,000, okay? It's really, really uncommon. So, seeing this on the ground, wow. I effectively have 2 of these now, one of which I got from Calphite Queen. Yay! It's a shame that it's so cheap and not particularly useful anymore. To continue to break things up, we decided to test our luck out here. Now that Leagues is a thing and the Wildy's a little quieter. We really want a second Dragon Pickaxe so we don't have to share the one that we have. I'm honestly pretty bad at remembering to put things in group storage. Sorry, babe. That's something I'm trying to work on, but it is nice when I get items like this. Now we don't have to share Brimstone Boots, since we are now each proud owners of a pair of them. I've also been chipping away at the gauntlet and had some good fortune here. I'm not sure if my levels are still too low, or if it's because I'm missing rigor, or I'm just not skilled enough at it yet, but goddamn, I do not like the Corrupted Gauntlet. Trying to go through and get a KC there is just, it is so stressful to me. So I've been doing normal runs, and I managed to go through and pull a Crystal Armor Seed for one. It was honestly a huge boost in my morale to continue grinding this out, at least whenever I have the time to. Remember that Zenny shard that Xanth got earlier? He gave it to me since his Ring of Suffering is already imbued, and we can't share that. Plus, he really wants me to start farming Zulrah, so I happily accepted said Zenny and turned it into a Ring of Suffering of my own, and got that bad boy imbued. I've actually been using it in a lot of places. It's just so good, at least in my opinion. That plus 20 to all defenses is just huge, and plus 4 prayer bonus on a ring? That's fantastic. And speaking of items that are good, I do have some news about our group as a whole. And it's gonna make it weird given the current title of this video, but we drug our roommate, Nova, along with us. He named his account Junesong, and while he still has a lot left to do to catch up, he has proven to finally be of use. At first, we're just throwing a bunch of things at him, and it was a bit taxing on our banks. But now, he's being quite productive. I hate the Mage Training Arena, like most players, so him doing this for us was huge. Speaking of the Mage Training Arena, I finally unlocked this, and while useful, it's something I rarely ever use. Still good for the achievement diary, I suppose, and honestly, I did end up using it in one other place. Remember how I said that we wanted to start farming bandos? Well, Xanth looked at me while we were returning home from errands one day and said, I think we should bandos when we get home. I'm all, hell yeah! And, well, I got fucking spooned. Just wait, there's more. Unbelievably spooned. 8 KC, and I managed to nab a BCP and Tassets? What? I really wish I was recording. I even had Streamlabs open, but decided against recording because we were still so rusty at this boss, and everything was just kind of shitty, and we were doing this shit method. Well, you know what I say to that? This shit method paid off. Our poor clan leader has about 900 KC. He's now to hilt and a BCP. Xanth and I were dying, to be honest. Of laughter? Sorry, Marty. The title of one of my previous videos is accurate. I'm a spoon-fed Iron Man. Now watch me just go try on a hilt or something stupid like the Godsword shards, I swear to fuck. The clan was rolling too. They were all busy on leagues and stuff, barely paying attention to the chat. Then boom, nearly back-to-back Bandos drops. The clan chat fired up like a bonfire. Bear in mind, this chat isn't just for Iron Man. Y'all should join! There were a couple other mountains Xanth managed to finally climb over as well.
Put on my climbing boots.
And with those climbing boots equipped, he managed to go through and get his first full trident drop from the Kraken boss at nearly 2100 KC. What's the drop rate on that thing again? 1 in 512. And it took you 2100 KC to get your first. That's stupid. I know. And lastly, finally, after like a month and a half of slaying, he got the second occult necklace, which means we now both have one, which means it's time to raid, bitches. But that's going to be a video for another time. For now, my viewers, this video can finally come to a close. I feel like this one is longer than all of my other videos. I won't know for certain until I actually go through and edit all this together. I mean, hell, this script is 9 pages long. It took me nearly 3 hours to type all of this out. I have to account for video flow, exciting moments, blah blah, so all of that takes time to actually figure out whenever I'm typing out something for me to follow and read out to all of you. I've worked hard on this one, so while my ending stats, drops, and bank clip plays out, why not give this video a thumbs up? It goes a long way, and both of us would honestly really appreciate it. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. And do people even ask that y'all turn on the notifications still? Is that still a problem that YouTube has? It's actually a legitimate question. Even though the majority of my entertainment comes from YouTube, I don't know these things, mostly because I never watch like the last 40 seconds of most videos. Anyway, I'm gonna let this song play out, and we'll hopefully catch y'all again really soon. Thanks again for the views.